the first item we have is just the update regarding meter installations, and we had gotten an email earlier today on that. And
I can send that.
I didn't go back, Tom, and look and really compare to see how much had been done in the last couple of weeks, but I think it's slowed down.
It's slowed down a lot. That and just, you know, we're not out putting up hangers right now. Those guys have been pretty busy dealing with other stuff, so
Yeah.
unless they're reaching out to us,
Yeah,
I have some comments.
Yeah.
I was waiting for
which I
somebody
think
else
part of
to-
that last conversation with the finding ways to try to push it a little bit
right.
will help.
Yeah, and that's, at some point, we're going to have to look at the issue that we've talked about before in terms of coming up with some differential rates. You know, a flat rate for people that have made the effort and are on the waiting list, and
Yeah.
then a flat rate for people that made the effort and are determined to be infeasible. And
Yeah.
puts the dollar cutoff for that, and then a flat rate for people who
Just ignore it.
won't make contact and ignore the motivational rate.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
And, you know, that topic might be something we want to have ready to roll for 3 months from now,
Yeah.
when it comes time to look at the following quarter again
Right.
in terms of implementing that.
Yeah.
Tom, can you ask
Corey.
Corey to add a line to his spreadsheet showing total number of service connections and the percentage metered? Because right now, all he's doing is tracking the people that have contacted us.
Yep, yep.
So that way we can have a running total of the
Yeah.
percentage of our system
We
meter.
probably can get that in the next billing, because there is a discrepancy between Corey's figures and Stacy's figures. Yeah, so it's probably perfect timing to update his report.
Thank you.
Yeah, because they'll be doing the reading in another 10 days or so.
Right. Yep. Yeah, because after the reading, that would be a great time to get that percentage. Okay.
So the main things I think we have to do tonight are just continue to look at the budgets in terms of any changes or modifications we want to make and what's been presented as far as a recommendation to the council.
One thing I noticed that, or I didn't notice, were we gonna tackle Patrick's
No.
information sheet
Yeah, we should.
Yeah,
so that that's ready to go also?
yeah, we definitely should do that.
Incorporated most of Carrie's figures and Jennifer's edits, comments.
Yeah, did,
Someone there?
You sent me an email a while ago.
Oh, congratulations, I didn't think I emailed you.
so
I'm going bonkers.
I was wondering, well, I'll let you lead.
The,
You wanna do the budget first, or?
Yeah, why don't we just see if there are any questions about the budget
Okay.
first? And
So this is,
So if we're gonna talk about the budget, I'll bring up a couple things then,
okay,
and have a chance to talk with Rick. So I had a meeting today, we had initially got a $784,000 ARPA CSO grant. We did the Bluff Road Pump Station, with a portion of it, spent 135,000 of that. We had a 90% review meeting with the state for the siphon that's gonna go underneath the river. And then they're gonna line the pipe to Gardner Park. So their estimate, engineering estimate, we're hoping this is gonna go out to bid by late March. So their projected estimate's 670,000. So we've got about a $21,000 shortfall. If it comes in at that. I mean, we're kind of hoping their estimates sometimes are a little higher than normal engineers, but, so
This is with Weston Sampson?
this is with Aldridge and
Oh.
A&E. Yeah.
They're engineer, oh, this is construction.
This is construction.
Oh.
This is to put in a double barrel siphon underneath the river. Currently, we only have a single barrel, what they call a siphon, from the causeway by the information booth. So this will get the second line in, and then they're gonna line the existing pipe all the way through the park, which will go underneath the garden, the playground, the hockey rink.
From the inside.
From the inside, they'll line it with the APRA funds, but
That's only 700,000. 600,000.
650,000.
For how much? What's the lane?
I didn't even look at it, Paul.
It's- I'm just
It's
curious.
gotta be close to 1,000 feet.
Is it?
That's not like directionally drilled, that's,
Well, they're gonna do a directional bore underneath the river,
oh, they will, okay.
For the
and then they're gonna
second
come up in the softball field,
Okay.
put a doghouse manhole there. But from that, all the pipe, even the directional bore is gonna get lined, and the old pipe.
Okay. I didn't know
So
how you
we'll
could-
have two lines under the river, so you always have an
Back
alternate
up.
if one backs up, which we have had it happen a few times since I've been with the city.
So why are they lining, they're directional drilling with HDPE, right?
Yeah,
So why are they lining HDPE?
no idea. It's an engineering thing, I guess. I don't know. I question it.
how
The,
diameter?
the,
I
the
would.
pipe, the pipe through the park is transite. It's
Which
been
makes sense to
videoed,
line it,
and
yeah.
it's in perfect shape to line it and get another 50
I mean,
plus years out of it.
because I would think with the HDPE, as long as you deburge your butt welds,
Yeah.
it's just like lined.
I don't know if it's because of how it,
I was gonna say, it might, that steep of a directional work, it might be stressing the pipe, you might wanna line it just because.
yeah.
That's
But but my question
I
is,
mean, it would take,
yeah. Hate to say we need to add a contingency of some money in there.
but, well, those ARPA funds aren't even, hang on, did I just find, is it, that's 1728.5 on the new,
Yeah, there's a 400.
that's the 460? Because that's the only ARPA funds I see in the budget we're working with, because,
No, we had, well, you wouldn't see the money. It's not like we got the money. We gotta expend the money.
right, we gotta spend the money to get the money, but they
Yeah.
have to be offsetting, there have to be offsetting line items.
Maybe in there. I'd have to.
Because the
check.
only other one, so there's the 460 under revenue, and then there's the CSO materials, and then there's the 460, which is 1843.5.
Yeah.
So if it's going to happen and if it's going to get reimbursed, then there needs to be an income and an expense line added to the budget. For, well, the expense would be more than the income at this point. Which would change our overall bottom line.
Yeah, I don't remember seeing anything in there that seemed to get up to the six, whatever, figure. The 650 or 600.
So you're seeing the 460 in the sewage budget, right, for ARPA money?
Both the
Right,
income and
and,
expense side.
On
In the
the,
new format budget, the,
is there a new one?
well, it's from our last meeting. It's the new NIMRIC format
Okay.
with the new account numbers and stuff. But yes, that's where I'm seeing it, man.
And are we seeing it in the 460 in the income?
Yes, we
So I-
are. We're seeing it on the income and the expense.
Income, it's
I see it.
1728.5, and expense, it was 1843.5.
Right. So we would need something similar for this new project.
Yeah, well, that 460 was going towards it, right? Am I right?
If, that doesn't, yes, it should be, but according to my figures, we got $649,016 left of that ARPA funds.
Say that again, how much?
$649,016
Remaining.
remaining.
So how is it 460
Yeah.
in here in the budget?
Can you tell me the code line, that line code you guys are on?
Yeah. Yeah, that's definitely low. Because the initial grant was $784,000, and we had spent $134,984.39 to date.
Does it have anything to do with the actuals of 128,235 in capital expenditures for CSO materials?
Line 1843 and line 1838 show expenses in FY '26. I think that's what.
Yes, that's what I'm referring to. I may not have the same numbering, but maybe I do.
Yeah.
I'm not caught up on that. Oh, yeah, and there was CSO engineering
Yeah, line 1838.
of 15, that was about 143,000 total.
Engineering will get paid for through a different grant though.
Okay. What about the CSO materials? Did that come out of the money you had left?
Where is it you're looking?
Line 1843, for the FY '26 year-to-date totals, or year-to-date as when this was printed a few weeks ago. But would those materials be the Bluff Road project?
Yeah, that could have been an initial payment to them for the Bluff Road project. Well, looking. Because I have three different bills that came up to the 134,000 on my report.
Just sent you the whole spreadsheet. Yeah.
I still need this pen now.
Yeah, so the 128,000 is the first two payments we paid to MSI, the company that did that project. And then there was an additional $6,749 in the third last remaining bill. So that's where that 128,000 comes from.
And so that came out of that ARPA money, and that's where you're coming up with the 600.
Yeah, we should be, I'd have to check with Frank. I'm sure we should be, if we haven't received a check for that. And maybe that's what we've received, is what we're showing there.
So is there any way to know whether or not that money has been taken out of the
This is
784?
Production.
Yeah.
Or out of
It's
the
in
total
should be the total.
money that you got from Oracle?
Oh, but not what the actual
Just
plan.
to know that you're $21,
That's in the
21,000 shortfall.
50 million,
I don't know.
50 million.
yeah.
We didn't get the
And
money, we
problem
have to
is,
expend the
this
money
runs a
first.
different time frame than what we had for the.
I don't know where that
And we
460,000
need more- we need
460,000
more
came
for a
from.
lot of the waters,
Right.
because we haven't gotten that for a while.
So do you have the number that came out of the plant?
Not for that time frame.
No.
I think some of them I did, but it never really aligned.
Okay.
Does anyone know whether when you put the 460 into the water, 460,000 in as a income item, and then on the debit side as well, was that taken out of whatever we call it, the balance fund, or the?
Yeah, that's in the proposed budget, not the current.
But I'm saying, how are we handling grant money now? It didn't even, it used to show up in the budget. It used to sit somewhere else, in whatever you call that, the balance funds or the whatever.
So
Didn't Pardon?
it's showing up on the income side now.
Now, the 460 is, but it came from some sort of total amounts of money that we have, and it moved from that. Because we got $3 million or so from ARPA to begin with.
Right.
And so it hasn't, that doesn't show up normally on the budgets.
This
It sits in-
is completely separate. This ARPA funds isn't the same other ARPA funds. This is, and it's, we didn't get the money.
Right, you don't get the money to a
We have to
project.
It's reimbursement.
expense the money
Okay.
first.
So there's no money sitting in a pot somewhere that we haven't
Okay.
figured out yet.
There's no
Okay.
money there.
Sorry,
We're as poor as we
sorry,
think we are.
I was confusing it with some other ARPA money.
Yes,
Sorry.
right.
I should have cleaned up the red sheet before I send it to you, because you're gonna don't look at below the line. That's,
So the question, I guess,
these are all the same.
is where did the
figures.
460
Yeah,
figure
and it
come
goes
from?
back
Should it
from-
I'm
really
not
be
sure
our
where-
600 odd
And
figure?
as we've, somebody just alluded to, we never used to budget that money. We expensed it, and then when we brought it in, showed it as a revenue coming back in later. I don't know who came up with that 460.
So I suspect it's calculations that Carrie and Frank have made about money that they expect to come in from reimbursement.
But the problem is, I have, looking at, we got a $784,000 grant, we've spent $134,984. So really, we should have $649,016 there, not $460,000.
Let's double check it tomorrow morning, because I think what they're doing is basing that on, like, I think that may include the two Causeway grants from NBRC and USDA Rural Development, which total $370,000, and I'm not sure what the other.
Yeah, but this is.
And then
this
the
is
other
like
would be 100,000 from, from the Gardner Park money that we're still expecting.
Yeah, this is strictly under sewer though. This is
Oh,
the
right, this
ARPA
is-
CSO.
I'm sorry. So short answer is let's not stew over tonight, because the people who can answer the question are tomorrow morning.
Well, yeah, but we need to know how much it's going to, what the deficit is going to be between what's left for ARPA funds and what the project is going to cost, because that's going to bring up the bottom line of our budget if we're truly going to do this project.
Well, I guess if we've got say it's not the 460,000, say it's 650,000
Yeah.
that we have here. It's offset somewhere else anyways. We're really not. The only increase would be the increase in the project if the project overruns.
Correct.
So
But
we can
all we
change.
have to do, right, we need to know 100% that everybody in the city says, this is what's left in ARPA funds, this is what the project's gonna be, leaves this deficit. Because that's going to determine the bottom line.
All right, so I'm gonna just text Carrie and see if I can call her with a quick question.
Now, when do the ARPA funds disappear? Are they not disappearing?
September 30th. We're on a tight timeline to get this project out to
Okay,
bid.
does somebody have a pithy way to put this question to Carrie? She said we can call her. I just don't want to have four of us trying to frame a question to her.
I mean-
What's the question that we're asking? Because I don't have the document.
Yeah, the question is where did the $460,000 ARPA figure come from that shows on the income and expense side in the upcoming proposed budget
For water.
for sewer?
We're in sewer.
For sewer, because Tom is saying that according to his math, it should be 600, what, he's got the exact figure.
Hey, Carrie. So here's our question. Folks here are interested in knowing more about the $460,000 income on the grant side in the sewer fund and expense that matches it on the expense side. Can you tell us, do you know off the top of your head what that money is?
Is it the CSO?
Yeah, the ARPA fund, Carrie. We're just curious, the ARPA CSO fund has 460,000. It's technically closer to 650,000. We're kind of wondering where the 460,000 came in.
I would have gotten it from Frank. Is it possible that some of that is in FY26?
Oh, that's a good question.
Still waiting.
It's a one-to-one though, right?
Yes, it's a one-to-one.
Yeah, so
That's right.
So I wouldn't worry about it too much.
that's kind of what we were.
Right, because it's not going to change the rate. If it's more or less, it's still going to be a one-to-one, is what you're saying.
Yeah, so I wouldn't worry about it unless it's somehow wrong that it's not a one-to-one.
No.
But if it's 460 versus 650 or whatever, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
Paul,
Well,
go ahead.
it does because Tom's project is 700 and something.
For the budget, it would be a full, I mean, if I'm understanding it right, it's a full reimbursement.
But we don't have enough left to cover the project.
So your budget for the expense side of the project is how much, Tom?
We may have a shortfall of 21,000 around.
If the six
Depending on what they're estimating the bids might come in.
and if the
That's what
600 is
started-
left,
That's what started the conversation.
right?
I see.
So then you could either raise the expense by your shortfall or lower the revenue by your shortfall, right?
Well, we have to cover the
Well, we'd have
shortfall
to
on
cover
the revenue
it.
side.
Right. We need to know what the shortfall is, and right now we
We're not
don't.
gonna know until bids come out, and they haven't even bid it yet, so. We just need to anticipate, if it does, we're gonna be about $20,000 or so that we're gonna have to come up with.
But this is for next year, right? This
For
is in
26.
next year's
This would
fiscal
be-
budget.
yes.
So the truth is, if we don't have that answer tonight, it's not critical because we have 4 more quarters during next year to make that adjustment if necessary. We don't have to do it in anticipation. We can do it once we know what the actuals are.
You have to get that project done by September, right?
Yeah, the timeline, they're hoping to have it come out for bid and bid advertise in March, open bid in April, start construction in June, finish in September.
So at which point, we'll know if we've come over or under, and we can make the adjustment accordingly.
But then you're not functioning on your budget for that. If we're having the expenses in that year, you're supposed to be predicting now what that budget should look like.
Well, in an
not
ideal
what-
world, yes, but this is an enterprise fund. I mean, what you're doing is you're saying, we're making our best guess about the budget right now. There are things we don't know, and we'll have to adjust as we go. That would be true no matter what. You know, that
We could get lucky and have some aggressive bids and come in under it for all we
Exactly.
know. I'd hate to see us lose the project by not saying we're gonna fund $20,000 or so and lose out the other
So
$650,000.
why not just go for the caution side and throw the 20,000?
I just
Put another 20,000 in the budget for next year, and then if we've overshot,
Yeah.
That's why I brought it up.
Okay.
I didn't wanna have this be a surprise.
Carrie, does that make sense to you?
Yeah, are you changing those numbers quite a bit in the budget, or?
No.
We hope
is
not.
this the only one?
We
Okay,
don't-
can you keep track of what you changed, just because I know Chip doesn't want to read.
We are not changing them in a document. If we make changes, it'll be on a piece of paper so you can look at it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I promise.
That's what I,
We're not touching your sacred object, I promise.
that's what I prefer at this point.
That makes total sense, Carrie. Okay, anybody else, any other questions for Carrie right now?
Not right now.
We just
Thank
need
you.
to confirm
Okay.
if they're 630 or 460,
Well, we're gonna confirm it tomorrow morning.
Yeah.
We gotta talk with Frank about
Right.
that, so.
because that goes from a $20,000 deficit to a 200
No,
and
it's
something
six-
thousand dollar
it's
deficit.
650.
Yeah.
It should be 650.
It is $650. I have the grant papers. I looked at them today. The grant was $784,000 and we spent.
So then all we need to do
On engineering.
On the buffer project.
is
So it's the remaining portion of that 780.
Leave. we need to leave 1728.5 at 460 and increase 1843.5 to 480.
Same budget.
If that's what we think the likely shortfall could be,
Based on the engineer's estimate.
right, which is all we have to go on.
Yeah.
Right?
So if you're trying to balance the budget on the revenue side, you know, where would we make it up?
You'd have to make it up in the rate.
Right, or, yeah, the other question I had.
Make
on-
it up in the rate or cut it somewhere.
Yeah, the other question I had on the revenue side, because I can't remember if we ever talked about it, was the budget for the current year for the Derby share of sewer, whatever that is 140,000, and for FY '27, it's projected at 110. What is that Derby share?
What line is that?
It's line 1703.
Do you know the answer to that question? Tom?
Probably because we only brought in 110 last year, or is that not to the end of the year?
Yeah, FY '25, we budgeted 140 and brought in just shy of 109,990, so 110. So
So it's being conservative. It's
yeah,
saying we can't count on
Right.
30 grand that we counted on last year in our
Right.
budget.
Yeah.
But it does remind us that we still need to adjust those, like revisit those with Derby. Correct. Don't we feel as though we're not billing them high enough? Wasn't that the sentiment last year?
yeah. And then
Yeah.
following along the same lines, my next question was 1707.
Yeah.
Sewer plant discharge fee. Just questioning, what is that? Where does that come from?
And why'd it go up 83,000?
It didn't. It went up 5,000 from. Oh, you're right. It did.
Yeah, yeah, and I mean, the budget for '24 was 185,000, '25 185, '26 160, '27 244 in round numbers.
Yeah.
FY '24, the actual was within $600 of the budget. FY '25, the actual was 55,000 more than budget. This year, actual to date is just shy of 100,000 against 160 projected. So it seems to bounce around. So I just
Did we
wondered,
get fines or something in 25?
Oh, did we for spill?
No. I'd have to do detail on that, see.
yeah, I mean, what normally does that item consist of?
Dumpage.
Yeah.
Yeah. It should be pretty consistent across the board. I mean, something happened. and
Oh, you
25.
mean that we would find somebody else?
No,
Oh.
that we got fined for not controlling or
But this
something.
aren't we in the
I'm
income?
on the income side.
Yeah, we're making
Yeah,
money
we're
here.
making money.
Oh,
Yeah,
we're
yeah,
making-
so-
Well, we're already projected to blow by our 26 budget by 40 grand if we keep it up.
So we're charging people, so,
We're taking septage, yeah.
Yeah, this is money we're charging at the wastewater
but
treatment.
that's just tanks, right? Trucks.
Yeah, and we take
Yeah.
that much because we're the only sewer treatment plant which will take anything in the neighborhood. Because none of
That's a
the other ones
lot
are
of
big.
sewer.
I don't know.
That's a lot.
Well, I mean, a couple of years ago, that was double that because Casella's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think what's going on there, Paul, is that's money for like Jiffy porta potty or whatever they are.
Yeah.
Jetty, yeah.
Juddies.
Jetty's porta potty and that kind of stuff.
Okay, so that's the line item where that,
I think so, Tom, right?
Yeah.
And hold, like that
I'm
brings
not
me.
sure if that's all of it, but
Well, does Prouty Campground take waste?
No.
You can't dump from the campground.
No, they come over to.
well, we have the campers dump there, but
Yeah.
we don't charge. I mean, it's
Yeah.
part of the camping fee.
So that doesn't even include campers. Oh.
No.
because.
Not that it's a lot of volume, but you'd think you'd pay more per gallon for camper than per Jetty's truck.
Well, we also have to realize we've raised the rates on those things, the discharge fee.
Right.
We're doing for septic.
What?
So anytime the rates go up, their rate goes up too.
Yeah.
It's per 1,000, right?
Yeah, per thousand. It's
Do you
really,
have-
it's quite high.
Do you have that anywhere? Where are the rates?
Yeah.
You can keep going. I'll dig it
Yeah.
out.
Yeah, I just wondered what was in that line item in terms of having it bounce around the way it seems to.
Just a quick question about the Derby share. I thought that there was some readjustments going on because we picked up a few more customers. I don't know, we may have given up a few more customers. Did that give us any net credit in the
That's on
Derby
the water
share?
side, not the sewer side.
Oh, okay, good.
Yeah.
Can someone remind me what we classify that as? NR, non-resident sewer meter?
No, it's not on
Not
that.
on that.
No, it's on the rate sheet.
Yeah.
Hang on. I can
That's what we're carrying the money.
get one
Yeah, I
as
think
soon as I
the only
find.
big one.
Yeah.
Rate
Let's make sure
charts.
you've got it, because I'm not trying to
I
take
know
notes.
that's
Okay.
wrong, so.
I think I'm missing
We had
the
a meeting
latest,
today
but
with
for
A&E to get the
starting
project
in
going.
Good.
November.
Bids coming
Yeah.
where they think they might will be that 20,000 or so
What
short.
do you like the last thing?
People aggressive, you might wind up. on the
Septic
list.
discharge, 17 cents a gallon, so that is pretty high.
I think if we go back.
So basically, when my $1,000 septic tank got pumped, Juddy's pays the city $170 to get rid of it,
That's
And what do you charge you?
$500.
They,
Well, there
they
is all
always,
that
it's a
hand-
1.5 million gallons at 17 cents. So it's a lot of trucks.
That's a lot of
It's
trucks.
a lot of trucks.
Well, yeah, you do a few campers and that sort of thing too, but it's mostly the trucks.
Yeah.
Because some of the smaller plants around can't take septic at all, am I right?
Barton, I think is the only one, right?
we're the only one in St. Jay.
Oh, really? Not even Barton or Island Pond?
I don't believe they take
Okay.
septic.
Island
No,
Pond.
we're the only one around Orleans County.
How big are those trucks? 2,500 gallons?
Yeah, the minimal, yeah.
Yeah.
I think Taplin's new one might be 3,500.
That's for a small truck. It's 570 trips. So 2 a day over the year. It's not probably absurd. It's not probably an absurd number.
No, it's probably not.
So,
Yeah.
okay. So is that kind of, like that's already projected to be above expected income by almost double what you're saying our shortfall is. If we keep up at this rate, we're going to surpass that 26 budget of
So it might be a
160.
wash, but we wouldn't want to adjust that.
You wouldn't want to hang your hat on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, once bids come out and we know what the price is gonna be, we'll have to play it accordingly.
It's a lot of diesel fuel to move shit around.
Always.
Not as much as MDI trucks on for Casella. Yeah.
Can I ask some questions that we were remaining from last meeting about various aspects? What happened with depreciation? The concept that depreciation was going to be added. It's in the, let me think.
Yeah, it's a great question, Ann. I asked it, and I don't know that I got a satisfactory answer, so that's something I can check in with Chip about tomorrow. Because it was in, do I have it right? It was in sewer and not in water, I think is how it was. I'll put that on my list, because I did ask, and then we didn't double back to it.
It was in sewer,
It was in sewer, right.
not water, and we've never had it in the grand, in the, what are the other funds called?
2 million.
The rest of the funds that we have. General fund,
Yeah.
not in the general fund, not in,
It only shows up in the audit.
it only shows up
It
in,
should only show up in the audit.
no, it only shows up in sewer, not water.
Yeah, but I'm saying it should only show up in the audit, not in a budget.
Not in a budget.
Not in the
Right, yeah.
budget,
I
right.
think we all agree about that. That's what I communicated to
But that
Chip,
would
but
be
I,
about-
honest to God, can't remember
Yeah.
if he
Yeah.
answered me or just put me off or we lost it in the process.
Yeah.
That would be $114,000 out of expenses in the sewer budget.
That's a good question.
Where are we?
It's the next to last line, as I remember, in the sewer
Oh,
expense
yeah,
line.
Yeah.
I just found it,
Right.
1903.
1903 is the line, so I can note it. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, I mean, if we pull that out, I think we pretty much we've more than solved the problem of the potential $20,000 shortfall.
Paul raised an issue last time about one of the expenses for a grant being in the expense side, but that the grant hadn't been put into the income side. What happened with that?
I'm looking for my notes from last time, see if I can find them here. Hold on.
And that was about, was that 200 some odd thousand?
yeah, that was, hang on.
Are we in water or sewer?
I don't remember, I just remember Paul raising it and then,
Well, we're trying, yeah, I mean, I think if we can just focus on one budget at a time, that would help.
okay.
Yeah.
I think it was it the was it the CSO materials?
Was it the 128,000 in, no, that's
Plus
not
the
it.
1776?
CSO materials.
Do you have a line item?
Yeah, CSO
close the door.
materials.
I got it. I was just thinking the same thing.
I'm sorry, where is it?
Well, the CSO materials, the 128,235 is what, the Bluff Road project. Correct. I remember Tom saying that's line 1843 in the current year's budget on the expense side. And there's a blank on the income side of the sewer budget for the current fiscal year. Line 1728.5
Yep.
is basically where that would go, and, you know, we didn't have a number for that.
So it's not affecting the next budget, it only affected last year's budget?
Right, and basically if it would show up, or should show up there as it, on the income side, whatever came in on that
Right.
grant, and then it went out for those other items, so it's going to wash when it gets plugged in correctly.
Tell me those lines again so I can just ask Carrie about it.
Okay, I had the other one here.
Well, the CSO materials.
1843 was the
1843 is the expense line.
Yep.
Well, 1843 and then 1838 was the question, although
Yeah,
Tom
the
said he
engineering.
thinks that's a separate grant. But 1843 is the big one that's in question. And then on the income side, it's 1728.5 current year.
And then I had a third question about other salary under sewer, which appeared in last year's,
What line item?
we had a task force version of it. It was other pay under sewer plant. It's disappeared now. I can show it to you. This was the copy that Paul had of the sewer and water proposed budget for last year. So I don't know whether it rolls.
Yeah, I'm pretty
somehow.
sure, and remember the 3 employees in Public Works whose entire salaries are now in Public Works and no longer distributed in any way into water and sewer. Whereas last year,
This was the sewer plant, and it was other pay, and other pay doesn't appear, and all of the transfers that we've done over the years from water and sewer, money paid by water and sewer to the general fund, nowhere did it ever wind up in other pay. It came out of regular pays and overtimes, and it went into that as well. So other pay, I want to know who,
How much of a figure is it, the other pay?
I'm sorry?
The dollar value of other
What line
pay?
are we looking at?
It's not on the.
It's not on
What is the
the,
dollar value?
okay, so in 2021, it was budgeted at $11,000, and, I'm sorry, no,
I
wrong.
think we're holiday pay if it's that low.
Holiday pay is there,
Okay. Overtime.
overtime is there, vacation, holiday, and sick pay is there, longevity is there. And this doesn't exist anywhere else in any of the water and sewer, and it doesn't exist anywhere else. So budgeted for 24, 25, and the budget was $16,000, and that's in as well the annual report. And actuals for the year before were $33,665. So I'd like to know who got paid that money, and what does other pay mean when you have,
I'm
All the
guessing it's
other
on
things.
call pay.
pardon?
I'd have to look it up to know the
Yeah, it was
detail.
explained at one point.
It's been asked every time and there's never been.
It's been asked last year, I asked it,
So
Last-
but are you hearing Tom? Listen to what Tom just said to you.
what did he say?
I think it's on call pay.
So we have people who get paid for being on call for a weekend. Right now, I think it's $225 a
It's all
weekend,
week. Somebody's on call
all the time.
all the time at the wastewater plant.
So it's,
is this something where we just need to ask Chip where this got
I can do
reassigned
it, I
to?
can do it, well, yeah, as far as in here,
Right,
where-
we
need to know where it was reassigned.
all pay was all lumped together,
Yeah,
Yeah, no, that's fine, Then- but I think she would just wants confirmation.
what it was.
yeah.
And you can explain
Yeah.
what it, that's
What went into it and where did it go?
Except she's asked that before, it was never an explanation.
so we're working on it.
Really
And
interesting.
Yeah.
I get it. I don't think anybody at this table is trying to hide anything. So let's just figure out what the question is and we'll ask it tomorrow.
Sure.
So-
And does that other pay get Social Security and all the other benefits?
If it's paid, it should, yes.
Pays.
Okay. But I would like to know.
We can get the answer to that question.
And then it would be nice to know the amount of money that's going from water and sewer to the general fund. You know, it's a big lump sum payment, like in one area it's about, in the admin area, it's about $700,000 or more going. And it would be nice to have a breakdown of what is that? Is there some debt service in there? What part of it is salaries?
Okay, we can get a breakdown on that.
This is the interdepartmental.
So that we would like to know that we can account for all of that sum of money that's moving from water and sewer into the general fund and say, oh, well, 300,000 of his total salary is moving,
Right.
so
Which
that
is,
that it's accounted for.
right.
Because otherwise it's just a lump sum that we have to
Yeah,
believe.
we can come up with that number. It's not hard to come up with that.
Right, and I'm sure you've heard me before and ask for budget worksheets and breakdowns. That's what we need, is stuff like that, so.
But we were supposed to recommend to the city who's going to vote on the budget on Monday, right?
City Council is going to vote on Monday night.
And then when are they going to vote on the sewer and water budget?
Monday night. We're going to approve all budgets on Monday night, and then we'll have to write up FAQs with questions regarding the budgets that will be included in the annual report. That's the current plan.
But how is this committee going to recommend that this budget, proposed budget, be
We're going
voted
to
on?
ask the questions and answer them Monday night for council members or anybody else. We'll
Okay.
have answers. That's what I just told you. I'll
Okay,
have
good.
answers for your questions, and if I don't, I'll tell you why I don't.
Do you have, this thing is, do you have our current rates?
Yeah. Well, I got the November one, at least somewhere. Hang on. I put the things on myself on the files. Okay, charts.
I'm trying to see what our rates get us based on what we're billing now.
Keep on forgetting.
How close it gets us to what the budget, the 2,012,000 that we're looking for.
Okay, so
For sewer.
this is the one's going to be effective beginning November 1st. So they're higher than what we've had before. So this is sewer, yeah. And the last time we just increased the meter connection fee. So we did not adjust the rates, so the rates themselves per gallon rate did not change.
Right, but
Just-
with our numbers, we don't know who's breaking this threshold, do we?
Yeah, we do,
Oh, we do?
yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah. And we'll know better when we get the February figures, yeah. And then that's it for water.
So where is that $700,000 figure coming
Yeah, I
from?
was
I don't see
looking
it
at that. I
anywhere.
can't find it.
Oh, hold on one second.
I have numbers from Chip via Carrie that say the sewer fund owed the general fund $873,000 in '25, and now it's $158,000, which is 700 some odd $1,000. So that's where that number comes from. I don't see it
So-
represented on this.
So that's the money that essentially was borrowed to cover the,
So-
The 873 is the money we borrowed from Pasumsic that immediately paid off that debt to
General.
the general fund. But what I think Ann's asking, if I'm not, you're asking about the line in next year's budget that is the amount of transfer that we're estimating the amount of transfer to be from sewer fund into the general fund to cover a share of salaries and that kind of stuff.
Right,
And there
so-
should be a line in the budget that I don't have right in front of me.
So-
But it's not gonna be it's not gonna be $700,000.
No,
It's
it
gonna
won't
be
be.
6 different
Yeah.
lines that add up to 700,000 or
Well,
something.
no, like, in the general fund budget, at line 149, the sewer salaries and benefit,
149. What do you mean?
In
we're
revenue
jumping
in the
over to
general
the general
the
fund.
general fund, 149, sewer salaries and benefits, admin is
Oh,
163,363. And then on line 150 on my next page, the amount of water salaries and benefits admin transferred was 587,
It's not 587, it's 87,000.
that's a 5.
It's a dollar sign, not a 5.
We don't have dollar signs anywhere.
Well, I don't know, maybe I can't see.
Okay, what is the line item again?
Yeah, what's the other one?
I'm
She's on a different book. Oh, you're on the
149,
phone.
I'm sorry, the second one is 149.7.
We're in the general
In the general fund.
fund now.
947.
So, in other words, $750,000 went from,
Not went, this is a budget for next year.
the budget is going.
Yes.
And the other thing about that is if that's water and sewer benefits going, as you recall, almost everybody's who's having,
Still can't find
who's shifting money that way, or having their salaries shifted, it's split. So when Tom's salary goes, it goes half and half.
No,
When
a third, and a
a
third.
third, well, I'm sorry, equal for water and sewer. When the admin people's salary goes, it goes equal from water and sewer, really.
Yes.
And that's a big disparity, 587,000 from water and only
I'm not sure
163,000.
where she's talking, to be honest with you.
The line item is in the general fund.
This was the first one.
Yeah, it's 149, so it's 149 and it's 0.7.
So that's what brought my attention particularly to the fact that I wanted to know.
And
How
John
explain
is
that?
absolutely correct. There is a dollar sign. It is a
You think that's a dollar sign?
That's a dollar sign.
We've never used that, it would make more
Yeah, but,
sense.
yeah, they have, it's been added in because it says it needs a number. At the top of like page 3, if you've got the complete thing.
Yeah, line
It is right before total government
149.5.
operations, we're in income, but right before police department income. It's the
Right,
very
that's where it
top
would be at the very
line.
bottom, yep.
But there was no dollar sign, I don't think anywhere else in the entire budget.
I would say there is not, but that's a bloody goddamn dollar sign.
Well, 87 would be closer and make more
Yeah.
sense, but I don't even know why there's a difference between 87 and 163.
Does somebody have this online? Do you
I've
have
got it online. It's just everything's scanned, so it's all fucking upside down. You gotta move it around. So 142, right?
No,
No,
yeah,
149.
149. Here we go, right here. Revenue transfer.
I'm missing a page.
87,333.
Yeah. So Patrick, can you blow up that number?
It's 87,000.
Yeah,
Yeah.
87,000.
There is a dollar
where's the
dollar
sign.
sign?
And where's the
Yeah.
other, and that one is for water?
that one
That's
is.
water salary.
And then where's the other one?
The sewer one was 163,
What
unless
number
that's
was
a dollar
that?
sign.
Oh, there it is.
I don't think
No.
that's a dollar sign.
Oh, sorry, it goes, it might go backwards.
'Cause
It's 149 point something.
149.5
Yeah.
is 163,363.
Oh, there it is, okay.
So why is,
So it's a total of $250,000.
that's not on this. Oh, wait, yeah.
So I think the question is, why are the two
Yeah,
figures
it's the
different?
interfund
So
transfer.
that is a dollar.
Yep.
Well, considering they're both
And then the
income
other one
figures
is
to
at
the
160.
general fund, wouldn't it make sense?
On the sewer side.
On the sewer and water side, you're gonna see the same figures in the interfund transfer as an
Yeah.
expense.
Yeah, but the income on the income sheet, them being different is logical because you have a different number of employees for the departments. So your transfer for sewer is not gonna be the same going basically income to the general fund is not gonna be the same
But
as
the
sewer.
budget, it's budgeted a certain way. When they budget it,
Yep.
they give for, let's say, the city manager, an equal amount, I would
Yeah.
assume, for each person from water and sewer.
So
It's the
it-
budgeted amount. The budgeted amount for the 3 men that are going to be working out of Tom's group.
So, Ann, I can find these
So
answers for you.
It's-
The short
It's
answer
the
about
clerk
the difference.
treasurer, it is all of this stuff,
Yes,
right?
but the short answer about the big difference is that the 25% of the 3 salaries downstairs are charged only to one of those departments and not to the other. It's only to
Right.
sewer
Yeah.
and not to
Because-
water.
And that's because of the limitation in the current
Yeah,
charter.
I don't think, we should.
It's 25%, I know that. 'cause
Yeah,
by-
yeah.
No,
I'm-
that actually explains a good chunk of it right
But
there.
that's, but it's only 12 and a half.
No, we put 25% of the total salaries downstairs in the, which one, tell me again? Sewer
In
budget.
sewer.
And we didn't put any
Water.
of their salaries downstairs
Okay.
in the other budget.
Right.
And
Because
that's-
charter doesn't allow it currently.
Okay, that might explain it.
And
but
I
it
think
would be
that's the
nice-
primary reason for the difference, and I can get you the answer you're looking for, which is what went into it. But I don't think it had debt in it, I think it only has salary adjustments in it
Yeah,
at this stage.
that wouldn't be transferred anyway, other than covering the past deficiency, because that is paid directly from the.
Right. But it's a great question for an FAQ. Anybody on their game is gonna
Well,
want to
and
know.
the other problem was that I really read that as a as a 587,000, but,
Right, which it isn't.
okay, that's good. I guess somebody should add up the numbers and make sure that that didn't go in as a,
It's all done by formula, so we can double check it,
Okay.
but it's not, nobody was going through and adding those numbers together
Okay.
and misinterpreting them, so.
Okay, so I think on sewer, what it comes down to is figuring out where on the income side we would add in, and we probably need to add it into projected rates for the coming year, the $20,000 shortfall.
So we've got to clarify that depreciation line.
Right, and that may be where we make up the shortfall and then some, because I think we all agreed that depreciation line needs to come out,
Yeah.
and that more than covers the shortfall.
And then whatever is truly available for the ARP funds
Gotta figure it out.
minus the engineer's estimate
Top of this page.
is the delta.
That's what it is. That is the thing that's on the first page. It's in there. We'll give you
1794
1794 in the
water or sewer.
sewer.
sewer,
Yep.
okay?
Okay.
We don't go further.
Administration, yep.
Yep.
Well done.
Yes. Yeah, you're right, 1794 matches that other line.
Yeah,
So it's-
and the difference, obviously, Rick has explained, clerk's office,
Yeah.
and number of employees probably fine.
Yeah, and then,
Are you saying 794?
1794.
Oh, 94, okay.
yeah, and then on the water side, the same interfund transfer line in the water budget is line 1975.
Okay,
And so, and it's clear there that it's 87,333, not 587,333.
good.
Okay.
Larger print.
Yeah.
But I hear the question that you're asking in general, Ann, which is that it would be nice to know when we say that there's an interfund transfer taking place, what it contains.
Right.
And that's a reasonable question, and we can come up with an answer.
Can I ask for a change in how these things are produced? This is a scan of a printout. It is completely useless
Yeah.
for real analysis. So if there could be like an actual Word document or a spreadsheet,
An Excel spreadsheet.
even something that you can control F. You can't control F a picture, you know, you can't
Yeah, it makes
search
total
for
sense.
yeah, so
Yeah.
it drives me nuts that we have to do this. And the same goes for the agendas for the meetings.
Yeah.
You can't even highlight the Google Meet link. You gotta, and sometimes the scan sucks, and no offense to those with failing eyes, but I have trouble reading the damn thing, so we gotta get into this century with that.
I asked that they at least have the same Google connection because
No,
I
don't do
connected.
that.
We can't do
I
that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
For reasons that boggle my mind, that is not possible.
But prints of real documents is possible.
a live link on the web page would be fine too.
That'd be great.
Yeah, yeah, anything, but you're right.
I know,
It's-
we
it's
asked
a-
for too much.
No,
It's,
I mean.
it is complicated, and the
Yeah.
reason it's complicated is that you can control what's in a scan and put it out
Sure.
as a PDF.
Sure.
And you can't control what people do or play with by inviting them all into a document. It's much.
I would never ask you to share a document, but I would invite you to share a print to PDF,
Yeah.
not a scan of a printed PDF.
I can explain that I don't like Google Docs. It instantly changes things.
Yep.
And not Patrick, but Stan used to get really angry because I would download the document, I would edit it, and I'd send it back to them, which meant they had to
Different one,
reload
Yeah.
the thing
Okay, I'll
every
ask
single
Carrie.
time.
It should
But
be
if
good.
we could even do that, that means, you know, if you have it, it's your creation. Yeah. And just if you put draft across it or something, they, you know, you'll know.
I don't understand any of the spreadsheet technology, but I know that a lot of programs give you the print to PDF option, which avoids the degradation of the scan.
Yeah, exactly.
Wait till you get it that this PDF is no longer valid.
Honestly, I don't think Carrie has thought about it any more than I have. We've
Yeah.
just been doing it with what we inherited.
With what you got, yeah.
And we
yeah.
can, I think it's a totally legitimate question.
It was,
Yeah.
I was gonna scan the charter for council members,
Yeah.
and then I realized I wasn't gonna do it because it was a PDF. And I just said to hell with it. So, you know, obviously there's a Word doc, you know, just plug it in. You can read where the, you know, misuse is. But, yeah.
Thank you.
I will ask the
That'll make my
question
life a lot easier.
without guaranteeing the result.
Okay.
Well, I actually
That and that it
converted
comes
whatever the thing
sidewise.
is to WordPerfect because I can't deal with Microsoft Word.
John, you're one of the last two
I've
people
never
in
heard
the
of
country using WordPerfect.
Well, there's more than two.
Yeah, it's all legal to people, right?
Yeah, exactly. And not only that, but they're actually still doing upgrades. I'm getting notices now to buy an upgraded version of it.
It's a much easier program than Word.
Well, it's a lot easier to control your formatting,
Yeah.
which is the whole thing. The formatting in Word goes crazy.
All right, is there anything else we have to look at on the sewer side?
I don't think so. I think it's just those questions.
I've got all of those questions. Tom and I can go over them with Carrie and Frank in the morning.
And the other question with regard to both the sewer and the water side is that capital reserve. First of all, you're gonna take out the 5% because we knew that you weren't doing 5% for,
Precisely 5%. Yeah.
I'll take out the words 5% in the explanation.
So long
Right.
as that's not what the town voted on, right?
And we went through this last time.
Right.
not what the town's not voting on that, but-
There's no direct municipal vote on this. It's just the
But
council.
Okay.
there is to put the money into that, to take the money away from the citizens in the water and sewer rates, and to put the money into a capital reserve. There is a warning, I believe, required, which we talked about, in sewer, in both the sewer and water sections of the state statute, which I
Is
gave us
is David
copies.
Rue going to be working on the warning? So that's a point that needs to be brought to his attention. And then in terms of the description item, in whichever lines it is here, I haven't found it yet.
it would be line, hold on.
Okay, 19,
2057,
and
2057.
1901 in the
Yeah,
sewer.
yeah.
We just need to take out 5% and call it capital reserve,
Can you say
correct?
those line numbers again?
1901 in the sewer.
Yep.
In the description, the 5%,
Yep.
those two symbols need to be removed. And then the same concept in whatever line in water.
And
2057.
it just needs to say, just capital reserve.
Right.
You might want to,
right, 2057.
I would think you might want to put a special or something after it so that people remember that it's not just a fund that you can automatically take money out of, but so that, or parentheses like state capital revenue, whatever you want to call it, a reserve. It needs to have a little modification, it seems to me, so that we know that that's not money you can take out without the voter deciding if you're taking it out for
Well,
any
that's
other purpose.
2057.
That's the point of calling it capital reserve.
Got it.
Well,
Oh,
but
5.7, sorry.
we've had lots of reserves or sinking funds that money disappeared out of over the years. And also, at the very end, we took out a lot of money from those just so that we wouldn't have to borrow so much money. So just think about whether or not you want to just put something that indicates, or like the section of the state statute that indicates something about the fund.
Right, but that's why you develop a capital expenditure plan, so that people can follow along with what you're doing.
Which we have.
Which we have.
Okay, and remember also, it would seem to me when another issue was the statute required that you specify what you were gonna reserve the money for, and whether or not it could be just
So, Ann,
expenditures.
just to be clear, we've had this conversation ad nauseum at this
Right,
point.
fine.
I hear you, and we have it.
Good,
We have a capital plan that
Good.
spells out exactly what it is we're putting money aside for, and when we spend out of that capital plan, it will specify that too.
great.
Okay. All right, so are we moving on to the water side?
I think so, unless there are any other sewer questions. And we've hit upon some of the
Right.
water points already as a practical matter.
Under personnel expenses in 1984 through 1988, it would be nice to know, and we said last time, and maybe unemployment, or maybe all the way down to 1990, it would be nice to know if those are new or have they been absorbed by some of the transfers? Because when you did some of the transferring, as I recall, Social Security and benefits.
No, if this is
went with it.
personnel
Yeah, this
expense,
is water for
it's
people.
only the people who work in water and sewer, and it includes all of their costs, including benefits, all of it. And 80% of it goes to water, or that backward, no. 80% goes to sewer, right?
20 goes to water.
And 20% goes to water. So those are the 4 full-time employees that we have in those 2 departments. And that's how it's split.
The 4 full-time employees that we
Of
have in
water
the
and sewer.
the sewer plant.
80% of their salary is in sewer, 20% is in water. And all other salaries are in the general fund and part of the interfund balance transfers.
Sorry.
Make sense?
Well, it's a little difficult to figure out where they are.
For,
So we're
in
saying
sewer, they're in line 1807 to 1817. And they look about 4 times larger than what we see in the water department.
Okay, fine.
And I'll, as I'm working on an FAQ, we can certainly include that because I think other people may ask that question as well.
Well, and I think in the grand, long-term scheme of things, this is going to be far easier to follow than the old system, which had the micro breakdown of every form of conceivable regular pay there
It was
was.
crazy.
It was totally confusing.
Yep.
This is much easier to follow in the grand scheme of things.
Did we get the insurance, which was one of the figures that Carrie was looking for?
We got it. She's incorporating it into the final figures. It was higher than we hoped. I don't
So
know how
this
much,
is not reflecting the correct,
I suspect it's not. Right, she
Yeah.
just got them, I think, yesterday afternoon.
okay. So that's one thing to.
That's why she was pressing so hard, because she was afraid that we didn't have good numbers and we didn't.
Which insurance is that?
I think it's all of the VLCT-related
Yeah.
insurances.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
In
I
terms
haven't
of-
looked at
Yeah.
it specifically
Health,
with her, but she
employee
did say
life, you know,
she was
disability.
disappointed because it had come back higher than she thought it was going to. But that change will be made in the final version that we circulate tomorrow.
I have, I guess one question for Tom. What is P and C insurance? Property and collision?
Casualty.
Casualty, okay.
So the last time we met, the only thing I hadn't added into the budget that Paul had talked about was leak detection. I did reach out to Suez or Utility Services.
Good.
They no longer offer that.
Okay.
The only company in Vermont, actually the guy's name was Tyler. He says he knew you and he's still a Matthews man. But
Oh, no.
That's funny.
yeah, they don't. They,
Yeah.
they just do. If we had an emergency, kind of like rural water.
Right,
They have,
They're not doing
right.
studies.
They're
Oh,
not going to come up and do it complete. I mean, I can get involved with the state and do.
EJP? Or
Really?
tie sales?
And check with tie seal. Other than that,
What about Weston and Sampson? Don't they do that sort of stuff?
just did my walls.
I would think that firm has somebody, that's a huge firm,
Yeah.
Who's that?
Weston and Sampson.
Yeah.
They gotta have somebody, might not be in New England, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
they'd send a guy out for a week.
I mean, I plan to get back with the woman from the state and get on their list, this coming year but that's gonna be more or less just a spot. They'll just do
Right.
spot
I have a
checks.
question about that. Is this one of those things where we ought to be looking to sister cities or communities and saying, should we do something like this together? We can't be the only ones dealing with this problem. And, this is exactly the kind of thing they're talking about in the education fund debate, right? Where can we be finding economies of, sharing and buying together?
Yeah.
And that leads to the question of whether if you could get 2 or 3 communities together, just buy the equipment.
That's what I'm
for
saying,
yourselves.
right?
Right.
Well, the equipment's not cheap, depending on what it is you're looking, I downloaded some stuff, talked to, actually that Tyler mentioned, and so I looked it up. It could be anywhere from $15,000 to $22,000 to purchase the equipment.
But it could be really interesting to find out if, St. Jay or Lindenville or somebody else, Morristown, wants to buy it too, and we go in 4-way, and instead of sitting with that equipment all year long, we're using it all the time.
I got a dumb question, how many cities still need to put meters in?
Well, that's that's a great question.
Because once you have a meter, then you don't need that tool. You have your mass
Well,
balance
you'd
already.
You still want to know where your leaks are, though. You still got to find
Yeah,
Yeah,
you'd have to find a leak.
But couldn't you isolate them much easier with whole wings of your main that
Not really. You'd know what I'm producing, and you'd know what
deliver?
everybody's using.
But you don't know where it's lost.
You don't know where it's going.
Well, I mean, no, you can narrow it down some because you can shut down the section. You go out at
Lose
night,
pressure.
you put pressure gauges on your hydrants, shut a section down and watch the pressure gauge. If it drops, you got a leak, and then you just start narrowing it down from there.
But honestly, I mean, if we're not the only city looking for that, and we could
Yeah.
share it 3-4 ways, you're talking, $5-6 grand a piece
Right.
to buy in. I mean, that could really be.
What's the training to run one of those things?
It's not bad.
I don't think it would be that bad.
What's the harm in asking?
Yeah, couldn't hurt to ask around. I can help with that, Tom. I could just ask among the mayors when I talk with them.
Well, and not only that, but there are an awful lot of smaller municipal water systems. You've got Derby Line, you've got Island Pond, you've got North Troy.
Barton, right?
Barton, Orleans,
Irisburg,
I mean, you can almost rent it.
Irisburg has a little private one.
yeah. Yeah,
And,
Westfield has one, yeah.
Yeah, there's a whole bunch of them around. There's a little one in Westfield, fire district. There's a little tiny one in Coventry, a fire district.
So, if you're gonna do that, then you're better off finding a grant that would allow you to provide that, loan that out to municipalities all over the place, rather than try to split it with 20 different people, or even split it with one other person.
Because
then
then
who
you-
owns it, who breaks it, who fixes it, who runs it, who's in charge of it, how long is it gonna go before it's obsolete,
Fair enough.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but yeah, that's not a bad idea.
Sharing between, 3 or 4 municipalities, that would work.
I think sharing economy is how we're going to move forward, honestly, in
Sure.
a number of areas. Like we need, this is a conversation for the fire department. It's a conversation for.
I also wonder if this is something that like a local plumbing outfit would.
It's a conversation for communities, like tool banks.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
What about, when you think about that, if we have to revamp the sewer plant in a big way, what about other communities getting involved in one sewer plant or one, that's
well,
like
we
a
have that to a
district.
certain extent right now. I mean,
You and Derby,
yes.
but,
I don't know how you would bring other communities in the surrounding area into that.
I don't know. I mean,
Huge pipeline, I mean, I don't wanna see
pipes are
that.
the thing.
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay, can we go back to this?
so.
I left the house at 6:15
you
this
mean?
morning, so I'm gonna be ready to go home and go to bed.
You talking about the budget?
Yeah.
So water, is there anything else on water that we need to talk about, or do we have that pretty well nailed down?
Just what's gonna happen with the healthcare and what that's gonna do to everything.
The healthcare?
Yeah.
We have the healthcare answers. We're not talking about health insurance.
Yeah.
Those numbers we
Okay.
have, and they were far lower this year than we expected
Okay.
them to be. I think it was a total increase of like 2.7 or 3%,
Okay.
Which
which is
remarkably.
remarkably low.
And so what was?
No, it was other
unsurprising
insurances
costs that went up.
that went up through VLCT. We do all
Right,
of
that's
our,
what
of our kind of liability coverage through VLCT.
Property, casualty, auto, all those things are skyrocketing nationwide.
Exactly.
Okay.
So I guess the only question is, do we add leak detection as a line item, or do we add it as a capital reserve expense in the capital expenditure plan?
I didn't hear the first word you said. Do we
If we add leak detection
leak detection?
as a line item in the budget, or if we add it as a piece of our capital expenditure plan where we donate to the capital reserve fund to do it in an upcoming year.
Let me
Based on the real quick, based on the numbers, we need to do it.
So, but we can't really get anywhere with it until we do the bulk of the remaining meters. Is that true?
No.
We could do it
We
anytime.
can do it anytime.
Oh, you mean identify them? Yeah.
Yeah.
So I would think, unless we have a clear answer to the question of go get a grant or whatever, I think we ought to put it on the capital budget, go looking for grant opportunities, and explore possible shared ownership kind of stuff, and just see where that leads us. So I don't think, I wouldn't start now with trying to do something. We just don't know enough to even guess right now.
But we have a problem because we should do it sooner, not later.
Right.
So I think that the best solution would be, if we think it's feasible that we're talking $20,000, if we think it's feasible that we might find another municipality or two to go in with it, I would split it and put like 5,000 into the budget as a flat line item of, to go towards
What we're
this.
willing to chip.
Add it to the capital
And
reserve
then
and call it
add the
5,000
balance
next
to
year.
the capital reserve.
Does that feel
Even
helpful?
if you get a grant, you're probably gonna do it. Worst comes to worst,
It's a placeholder. 5,000 is just a placeholder.
yeah, I mean, it really would be.
Yeah.
Because even if we get it and get the manpower to do it, it's gonna be a cost for the manpower to run it,
Sure.
Well, I gotta pay
That's
my
later.
staff anyway.
yeah,
I mean,
I wouldn't add that in a,
yeah. But I think that's the way to cover it also as a good placeholder and just say, let's get on the stick and do this. I think Paul is reacting to the same thing I am.
Right.
Which is that I finally was reading these numbers and we've been figuring that we can account for 40 million gallons out of approximately 50 million or so. But then I realized we've got double figures, so we have to drop 20 million out of that figure.
Right.
what do you mean? So we're missing 30 million gallons.
Missing 20 million gallons.
Plus-
Say that again?
Plus another 10, Patrick's right.
Yeah.
So what I'm wondering is, like, we've got money for meters. Are we better off putting that money towards this instrument?
We can't. We
But it's
can't.
already written in
Unless,
or voted
well,
on.
Because
okay,
it
what you
wasn't part
could
of the
do
law.
next year is, how much did we put in for meters next year in this water budget? Somebody have it
25.
handy? How much?
25.
So, most of our meter work next year is gonna happen out of the 400 meters we've agreed we're gonna spend from the water tower money.
Right.
Right? So if you wanna call that money instead leak detection equipment next year, buy the whole thing outright and be done with it, we could do that.
Could your guys fix most leaks on most of these mains?
Oh, yeah.
Nothing that
Not
would require
unless-
like trench
Not unless it's
boxes.
underneath the bay, but
Yeah,
then, you
sure,
know, we'd
sure.
have to pull.
Or
another
split the
fuse
difference,
pipe
call
under.
it, you know, 12.5 for leak detection and 12.5 for water. I mean, the meter maintenance is gonna be the issue. We're trying to begin to plan ahead for failing meters now, right?
Yeah,
But we don't have any idea how many will fail next year. Could be, you know, 12 or it could be 60. We just don't know. So I like the idea of being proactive and thoughtful because we've been complaining about the leak problem for a while.
yeah.
If that feels okay to you, Tom, does that feel all right?
Well, so the other question too for probably Chip would be that, I mean, this is a piece of equipment that's going to depreciate.
Yeah.
So is it bought out of a line item or is it bought out of a capital expenditure
And do we rent?
budget? And how does it need to be purchased for the depreciation?
And what happens if we rent it out to other municipalities?
Right.
How would we account for that? That should be revenue.
That's
Then
just,
it's revenue.
that's just a revenue item.
Yeah,
But don't you gotta work that into depreciation?
no, it wouldn't be worth it necessarily.
Okay.
I guess the finer points is you're supposed to, but, you know, the federal government isn't going to come in and audit you on that one.
Y'all, I love the idea of being more proactive about this.
Well, I got a question for you two. Is like when these things leak, I mean, is it like a spiral fracture leak or is it a fitting that leaks?
It could be anything.
Yeah.
You don't have to-
I've seen.
So you could be chasing a cracked pipe for a mile.
I mean.
Well, if you want to put it that way.
It could be a corrosion hole. It could be a shear. It could be a pushed gasket from when it was initially installed, and it's just
Isn't it?
cut its way through the bell.
Yeah.
The problem is if they don't surface,
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, generally, they're gonna surface somewhere, you're gonna see something, but they're not surfacing, then, okay, where is it going?
Right.
Yeah,
It's going somewhere that nobody's seeing it,
Yeah.
and you're not hearing it.
Memphis drinking it.
Well, I was gonna say
so you
like
got a lot of
Well,
sand.
water disappears in our neighborhood pretty damn quick.
Yeah. I mean, you dig down 4 feet at my house, and it's a aquifer.
Yeah.
Oh, in
So-
your backyard, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, back there.
So
yeah.
back there, I mean, if there was a leak out on Sias
And
Ave,
it was going down that draw, you'd never see it.
you'd never see
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think we should put some money towards leak detection. If we have the loan paying for up to 400 meters that we budgeted,
Yep.
then I think we should, even if we don't buy this instrument, but we at least spend 12.5 grand hiring somebody who has it to come up and start. I don't know if that would get us anywhere, but
I don't think it'd get you very far, but
How much?
No, if we can buy this equipment for 20 grand, I say we buy it. Like, it together with somebody else or whatever, right? Like, I'm not interested in trying to be
If we're
held
gonna
hostage
go
by one
nowhere.
company based in southern New Hampshire that
Yeah.
happens to do
Yeah.
this, right?
I mean, honestly, if we can buy it for 20, but to get somebody up here to do half of the city is gonna cost more than 12,
Exactly.
hello.
well, the other side of it is you do buy it, you always have it, as long
Exactly.
as you
Yeah.
take care of it.
Every time we have a new problem, we know
So
how to
if
go
we,
find it.
I mean, we've had leaks, I can tell you, this time of year, and I shouldn't say that, where it surfaced and you got 4 or 5 feet of frost in the ground and literally dug 30 feet because it was coming up over here, but the leak's back over there.
Oh, yeah.
Whereas if I'd have had probably something where I could listen to it and say, okay, I think it's further this way.
But all this being said, Tom still only has 3 guys
No, we just hired
or 4,
a fourth.
but still,
We get it.
the other projects, all that stuff, we're not just gonna, okay, we're gonna drop everything and do leak detection.
No, in fact, I mean, I think it's a good point that our high priority between now and September
Yeah.
is installing water meters as fast as we can get people to ask for them.
But that's gonna slow down at some point. At some point, you're just gonna have the problem children. You know,
Yeah,
so
we
it's
still
not
have an
gonna be,
ordinance for
it's
that.
not gonna be the guys, it's going to be. the
Yeah, that's going to be a
administration.
conversation we're going to have in May or June when we start saying, okay, now how do we get tough?
Right.
about, so that by the end of the summer, if people haven't done it, we say, now we're done plan.
Yeah,
Is this-
just before you came in, we were talking about that very point, that's a topic to take up 2.5 months from now.
Exactly,
Before,
Before the next quarter, the following quarter.
exactly.
okay.
Yeah, because my hopes that the rate we were going, and we knew it was gonna slow down in the winter, that by August, early fall,
We can be
we
through
could
this.
have the bulk of them in,
Yeah.
you know?
So I have a word about that, just to make sure you all know what I just discovered, because maybe you knew this and I didn't. But I had another aha moment with Chip this week. I'm amazed at how little I understand the way the world works. But this one was, I had been thinking that we were going to the Vermont Bond Bank and saying, we want to borrow $2.603 million for 25 years at whatever rate of interest, and use it for 3 purposes: to pay off however much we will have borrowed by then on the Pasumsic short-term note in anticipation of bond income, which right now is only $1.9 million. We've only borrowed enough to pay off the construction line of credit. Everything else we've done out of our own cash flow. So that would be first. Second would be to pay off our general fund for the money we've spent in excess of $50,000. Anything we spent still on the water tower, and anything in excess of $50,000 we budgeted this year for water meters. And then the third was to have money in reserve and waiting for us to purchase 400 water meters going forward, plus a 10% contingency. What Chip said to me is, it's not going to work that way, and I need to reach out to the bond bank to
Ask for
understand
money.
this. Now, what he said was, the only thing that they're going to want to do is pay off the note in anticipation of bond income from Pasumsic. So he said, what we're going to have to do actually is figure out exactly what that total is, up to $2.603 million, and borrow it right before we do the bond note. And then all of the bond note will go to pay off the Pasumsic note, and we will then have the money in our coffers, basically, to do the other things. We pay ourselves back to the general fund and have the money for future water meters.
So it's kind of a cash shuffle.
It's a cash shuffle. That's exactly right. And the reason it matters is because apparently the bond really has a very limited application. Like if you try to do something other than pay off existing debt with it creates all kinds of other headaches. So I have a call in to Ken Lingy from Vermont Bond Bank to try and make sure Chip's giving me good advice and we got good feedback on this. And I think we do. I mean, I thought at one point what he was saying was, go buy your 400 water meters and put them in a room somewhere, But in fact, no, he said, in fact, what he was saying is, there's no obligation to prove anything to Pasumsic about when and how this money is being spent. He said, you don't have to give them, this is not a loan like the last one we had with Pasumsic for construction, where we had to show them receipts and then they gave us the money. On this one, the way the loan is written is I could call them tomorrow on behalf of the city with appropriate permission. I could call them and say, we want the rest of the $2.603 million right now. And they don't care, because the way they're going to get paid back is with the bond note a month from now or two.
Yeah.
So we don't have to, and Chip said, you can spend that money, this year or next year or even the year after that, as long as it's going to the warned purpose that was approved back in 2022. I don't think there's any time limit on it.
Well, because it's a line of credit, that's why Pasumsic doesn't care, because the whole point of a line of credit is you can draw it for whatever.
Yes. So anyway, that was news to me. I'm going to try and sort it out, but I wanted to say it out loud to some other people and see how it sounds coming out of my mouth to make sure I understand it.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a shuffle in terms of the sequence of.
That's right. He said do it the day before, ideally, so we're not paying $3,000 of interest for a month on $900,000 that we don't actually need right now, right? Like that's.
Please put it in a reserve fund that has a big lock on it.
Yes, indeed.
And just remember, Ellen often comes to meetings, so
Yeah,
she was
yeah.
here last night listening intently.
No, she knows. I mean, there's nothing underhanded about it in any way. He said, this is just the way this one works. You can take that money, the city remains obligated to pay it off, and the way they'll do it is with the Vermont Bond Bank. And we obviously wouldn't do that until the Vermont Bond Bank loan is approved. And then before we execute the paperwork, we would go and borrow the rest of the money we think we're gonna want. He said, now, remember, that note was approved for up to $2.827 million. And then we only decided we needed to borrow $2.603 million. So he said the only thing you gotta be careful of is not to borrow more on the Pasumsic note than you're gonna get from the Vermont Bond Bank to pay off the Pasumsic note.
So the only thing we need to do to the water budget is add leak detection equipment, find out if it's going to be a line item or a capital expenditure,
Yep,
and then how it gets depreciated.
got it.
Okay?
And then if we keep, I think the other thing is if we keep meters in there, then we technically should, change the line item to something else.
Yeah, or divide it and add a line item for this or something.
Right.
We'll
Yeah.
find a way to manage that tomorrow
Yeah.
with Chip.
Because obviously, if we're gonna get all the meters from, the loan, let's not put 25,000 for meters in here.
Right, right. In my mind, what we're putting in there is really replacement meter money, right? Because we don't want to buy second round meters out of the bond money if we can help.
Even that meter line item, leave $1,000 in it just so that that line item is always meters.
Yeah.
You're not creating another one
Yes,
a year down the road.
yes.
Why are leak detectors being treated or possibly being
I
treated
think-
differently than water meters, which are a line item?
I think he's going to suggest leak detection equipment be treated different than a line item.
As a capital expense.
Yes,
And it will be part of the capital expense
Correct.
line in this budget.
correct.
So you won't see it, leak detection.
Right.
And it's,
And it will only go into the water part of the,
Yes, because it's a clear
Reserve.
water capital, it would be part of the water capital expense.
because it's a water item.
Yeah.
All right, can I ask one other question that I think you've answered before I came in maybe tonight? I don't think we're intending to do any adjusting of the rate before the end of this month for the last quarter of this year. Is that correct?
We haven't started talking about it yet. I suspect that's the direction we're going in just because of the information situation we're in,
Right.
where we won't know what the third billing of the year is going to generate because the reading takes place on or after the deadline for raising the rates for the next quarter.
Were you able to do that seat of your pants estimate on what we haven't spent that we budgeted this year for the salary for that person who's been missing for the last 4 months or
No, I
so?
haven't done that yet.
Okay, but I mean, that salary is probably, that package is probably running us, what, $60,000, $70,000 a year? Maybe 80?
Yeah.
So, we went at least 4 months, more,
Yeah.
maybe more, right? It was maybe even more, it might have been
It's
5 or
more
6
than that.
months. So we got almost half a year of that salary that we did not end up spending because we only approved the new hire, which I trust has happened.
Yes, just started.
Great. So there's playroom there that we were not necessarily counting on that makes me feel a little confident if we miss something else, we're gonna be okay.
I think
So
we
revenues
need
is-
something else.
That's a revenue
Yeah.
it's a lesser expense.
Yeah.
Not a
Therefore-
revenue change.
And in our next round, if it looks like we've overestimated, then we can cut rates even if we decide we need to.
I think the city deserves a break and a full evaluation before we go change.
Yeah,
rates again.
it might be necessary, but it is certainly premature.
Yeah.
I think the last one was seat of the pants, and
Yeah.
I would hate
And we
to
still don't know
see-
the answer.
Yeah, I'd hate to see, well, that one we'd know more of the answer for than anything else, except the new meters.
Yeah.
So John, part of your report on Monday night, in addition to the budget work, could just be a recommendation from this group that we're not recommending a rate adjustment for the last quarter of this year.
Yeah, I think we're all agreed on that.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then somebody downstairs can develop a spreadsheet so that when we come up with a water budget, they can enter it into the spreadsheet and it'll tell you what rate you need.
Back calculate out, yeah.
That calculate out.
Be great.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to do in
I
the
bet you Carrie
spreadsheet
could
I made.
actually,
I've got 90% of it right now,
great.
so, yeah. You don't wanna know the formulas. You wanna see it?
Formula's longer than my arm, but I
Yeah, and I have to admit, I have spent hours trying to figure out how to do
It's
it.
a weird calculus.
You crack me
problem.
up.
You
But,
want
you know, well, we got it, you know, I have to admit, I think I might have even printed it out, but you can't print out the formulas. Yeah, there's an advantage to having two computers for working on this. Oh my God, it really was tremendous, so. But I think Paul's the only one who cares about something like that. But you can manipulate every single rate in it. This, you know, so it does work. It needs to be completed.
And the simpler we keep the rate structure, the better.
You don't want to know what you've already done. And it's part of it. I got sidetracked because I tried to do the 8,000 of lowering it. But to be perfectly honest, that's not the way of going. So let's see if I can find it here. But we should
Send me that. So I've got that.
well, yeah, I did. It's not as abbreviated as that one. There we go, general docs.
Okay, I'm sending these notes right now to Carrie so that she and I will remember to deal with them first thing tomorrow.
Okay.
I have a
And you have
edited,
it,
consolidated info sheet.
which we need to do.
Do we want to,
Yeah,
how do we?
that I think we should look at tonight,
Yeah.
so that it can be an insert in the next bill, and then after that, I think we should wrap it up, given the hour.
Okay.
So,
Do you want me to email it? Do you want me to just read through it?
Yeah, just read it.
Okay.
Sure.
I've tried to put it in an order that makes sense, because there's a bunch of random information, not random, but there's a bunch of information. I'm trying to make it flow appropriately. So, water and sewer rate adjustments were performed in 2016, 2023, 2024, and 2025. Regular adjustments are required to keep up with water and sewer administration, distribution, and treatment costs. Rate adjustments prior to 2025 were not adequate to cover the full cost of services across the city. Thus, the multiple rate adjustments in 2025 to correct course and cover debts incurred. The following deficits needed to be addressed. It goes on to quote Chip's numbers: sewer fund owed general $873,000, water fund owed general $36,000. This is during fiscal year 25. And then as of January 2026, the sewer fund owes the general fund $158,000 still, and the water fund owes general $39,000. The water fund actually owes more than they did last year. I don't know why, but that's the numbers that Chip gave me
Today, you mean, they owe
today.
more.
Today.
Yeah, it's because we have not tried to take any money out of the Pasumsic note to
Yeah.
cover our expenses since we paid off the construction line of credit. So all of that has gotten basically attributed
Punted.
to water, and effectively, general fund is covering it out of our cash.
Okay.
That's why it shows so much more right now.
Okay.
Basically, it's just a way of avoiding paying some interest.
Exactly, we're just trying not to pay interest on it.
Okay. Do I need to make a note about that?
No.
Okay. Number 2, changes to financial accounting measures and newly instated interdepartmental billing practices will address the discrepancy between will prevent future discrepancies between water, sewer, and general funds. Or deficits. How was that? Prevent future deficits. Okay. Rate adjustments performed in late 25. I'm getting rid of in early 26. Late 25 are now generating enough. This is a, you know,
So-
concrete statement, so I want to make sure we should say this or not. Rate adjustments performed late 2025 are now generating enough revenue to cover water and sewer expenses.
my
I'd say
comment
no.
was,
Okay.
don't say that.
Okay,
Yeah,
so just, and
We're
the second part of
really
that,
not quite sure
we're
yet.
not sure, and the second part of that was going forward, regular rate adjustments will be made by the city to adequately cover costs of water and sewer operations. Do we want to just scrap that whole? It's not doing much for
So
us.
you've changed a lot since the first one you sent out. So
So I think we either way, we're all in agreement to get rid of, it's now generating enough revenue because we don't know.
Right.
But do we say going forward, regular rate adjustments will be made by the city to adequately cover actual costs?
Yes, that
Okay.
you should put in.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
What
combine it with
line
the
item are you
previous
on?
line. I'll send it
Okay.
to like, and you guys will have a final say, but.
Okay.
Yeah, let's get rid of this. To cover actual costs of water. Okay. Number 3, all hookups to municipal system must have water meter installed or face additional charges. Without meters at each and every hookup, the city cannot determine adequate and equitable water and sewer rates. And then it goes on for 4 different scenarios. Newport City DPW shall install water meters where hookups are deemed feasible for installation after inspection. The city shall cover the cost of labor and materials necessary to install the meter for these feasible hookups. If upon inspection by Newport City DPW it is determined that modifications are required before a meter can be installed, then the landowner shall be responsible for the cost to implement such modifications prior to meter installation. If upon inspection by Newport City DPW it is determined that meter installation is infeasible, then the landowner shall be charged a separate rate structure than the usage-based rates. Or, if a landowner fails to contact Newport City DPW or refuses to provide access for staff to perform an inspection and evaluate meter installation feasibility, then the landowner shall face additional charges. Keeping it vague, because we don't know that yet.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's the points C and D that we're going to want to talk about in a couple of months with the
Yeah,
idea of
yeah,
starting to
right.
phase in those differentials.
Yeah.
On that, how about, shall be assessed a non-compliance fee as opposed to additional
Sure.
charges?
Yeah.
Love it.
Shall be
That's clear.
Non-compliance.
assessed a
Non-compliance fee.
non-compliance fee, fine,
Yeah,
fee?
fee.
Okay. Okay. Between August 25 and January 21st, 2026, 270 new meters were installed following inspection visits performed by Newport City DPW. Of this, 239 were installed by DPW staff compared to 31 installed by third-party plumbers. These are updated numbers from
Right. I mean, for an information sheet, I don't see why that needs to go out. I think we could just say that due to our efforts starting in August of 25, over X% of the city now has meters.
Okay, so you don't
Leave
want
it at that.
Okay, you don't want anything else about.
It's just a
No,
lot of words.
Because what you want to do is perhaps inspire people to put in meters as opposed to
Right.
you learn. I mean, perhaps it should say, that we thank everybody who has signed up to put their meter in.
Right.
You're helping
Now
us.
up to
Right.
70%
Thanks to,
or
Yeah.
whatever.
thanks to those that signed up.
Yeah.
I'd love to use that figure, but we
70%
don't have that figure, do we?
Well, that's what I asked Tom to get.
Okay.
Yeah, we could, because we know how many meters,
We know how many service connections we have, and we know how many meters are in.
Yeah.
It's just a percentage.
yeah.
Well, I don't know if we actually do know exactly how many
We,
meters are in.
we,
'Cause I've seen a couple numbers, and because they keep going up and installed.
what you have to do is,
Right.
do a time period stop, and perhaps the time period stop would be November, the November bill, because that's the latest bill. As of our November billing, X percentage of the city, because we know how many meters there are, how many accounts there are out there.
Okay, so we just want to say total percent complete, not
Yep.
anything about the progress made in the last
Yeah.
4 months?
Right.
Or-
I mean, you could say that for the
Of
last,
these, 270 were installed since August 2025. How's that? So if you can get me total
problem-
hookups and total meters,
Yeah, problem is some of those, they aren't really necessarily hookups, they're also, well, I guess, you'd only have about 3 cases of sewers that are not, don't have water meters. There are a few sewer accounts that don't have water meters.
We don't have water service.
Service,
We can't
yeah.
have a meter.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah,
okay,
glad
so
you read my mind.
270 new meters were installed.
So anyway, I like the direction this is going in, and then you keep the contact information at the end of it, so.
Yeah.
if you want to-
So the last two, there's two more.
Yep.
When a meter has, and I'll mark this one red and get numbers from Tom. When a meter has been installed on a previously unmetered hookup, the change in billing from flat rate fees to usage-based billing will take effect at the start of the next quarterly billing cycle. Did we agree on that? That's not in there.
I didn't remember reading
No,
that.
that was a comment from Jennifer.
Well, we had established the premise that if the meter is installed during the first half of a billing quarter, the next billing will be based on the meter. If the meter is installed during the second half of the billing quarter,
So I remember talking about that.
the council voted to approve this.
Oh, they did?
I think so,
Okay.
yes.
Yes.
So they checked it downstairs and that's
We
doable?
did, yes.
Okay.
And, well, yeah, the council voted to approve it based upon the fact that they had made a command decision downstairs 10 or 12 years ago when metering started to do it that way.
Okay, so.
And in
Because they
the
had no
interest of
direction.
consistency,
So summarize it again for me once more. If a meter is installed in the first half of a quarterly billing cycle,
the next bill will be based upon the meter reading. If the meter is installed during the second half of the billing cycle, the next billing will be flat rate, and the metered billing will commence at the beginning of the following quarter.
if the second half of the quarterly billing cycle, the flat rate shall be used until a full quarter worth of meter readings
Are available.
are available. Okay. All right, and then the last one is all connection fees refer to the flat rate cost of a service line connection from city water main to residential, commercial, industrial, or other hookups, regardless of water usage or the service line being turned on or off. Or is there a smarter way to say that?
Get rid of the breakdown of the types. I don't think you need to.
Okay.
I don't think we've installed
Is there
it.
another way to say line is off?
Active.
Active, that's what
Whether the
okay.
service line is active or not.
Yeah.
Okay.
And somehow, I think we've got to get those, you're gonna kill me for it, at the beginning, because those are the questions everybody's gonna have, and nobody's attention span's going to go through all of this. Or
So this
a lot of
is why
people
I
won't.
preface with like the order of these things. Like,
Yeah,
do we
yeah.
want the adjustments and money and financial accounting things at the bottom and talk about meters and then billing and budgets? How do we want to? I don't know. I'm happy to take your suggestion.
I honest to God don't think it matters.
Right, it does.
Either
if it
people
all
are gonna
fills
read
up-
it or they're not.
Right.
What are you entitling it at the top?
Newport City Water Sewer Info Sheet.
Anything that would inspire, do we want to say anything in the title that would inspire somebody to put a meter in?
I'm not particularly strong inspiration for most people. I don't
Yeah,
know.
I put a title, fines are coming.
Duck and cover.
I think they'll read it.
Reasons for putting your meter in now, I don't know.
Well, we're trying to shrink it so it fits on one side of one.
But it's a
sheet of
good
paper.
question. I mean, you know,
Call to have your meter installed today.
yeah, and then just use the info sheet. That
Right.
works.
Yeah.
It's meteoric.
It's meteoric.
Yeah.
Cute, Pam. I got you. They all missed your joke, but I got you.
Maybe,
Whatever.
the last half could be sort of something under a larger subtitle of explanation of your water bill.
So the last
I think
two, meter billing cycles and connection fees,
Yeah.
be explanation of your water bill.
Yeah, still lead off with the last one and then that
I mean, you're
one.
breezing over like 20 other things on the water bill that most people probably won't understand.
Well, the
Which is
most
fine.
common question is,
What
what
is
is
it?
the connection fee? I've
Why
been
don't I
connected
just
for
call
years.
frequently asked questions regarding your bill?
Okay, that would be it. And then-
FAQ.
Yeah, and I think then also ask the ladies downstairs what they see is missing, because they're the ones that get the.
I mean,
the
I'm not
bills.
gonna do that. He can do that.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna tell these ladies what they need to be doing
Oh,
with
no,
their
no,
time.
you're gonna ask them what they think of what you've done.
Yeah.
I'm gonna ask Carrie to ask them to think of what I'm saying. They don't know who I am, so
We could give a really good lead in for
Yeah.
you.
I keep my last name different for reasons.
Yes, we know.
But I don't think it works.
Yeah, it doesn't.
Other than
So our
that
next
father
meeting would be on the
who has
5th?
to figure it
Yeah,
out.
God, yeah.
He's not the brightest.
Or
cricket
Carter's
in the bunch.
grandfather, who still calls her Carter Hurley. She doesn't care for that much.
It's like my wife's grandparents who insisted on writing to Mr. and Mrs. Richard
Yeah.
Chase.
They get a little tinkle in their eye every time, you know? Tinkle in their eye.
How about my aunt who
All right, are
wrote
we
my
wrapped up
mother
here,
by
y'all?
her
We're
two
trying to
last
pick a
names
meeting.
when she was divorced?
Oh, a next meeting
Yeah.
date.
Yeah, her maiden name and her last name.
Yeah, do we, 2 weeks from today is February 5th, do we want to do that, or do we want to push it back to the 12th?
Pam, that thing you just said, was that an evening meeting on February 5th that I just looked at?
I didn't say anything about a meeting. That was just a piece of information about water meters.
Yeah, well, it's an invitation
Oh,
to
right.
participate. Pam, I just forwarded to y'all something looks really interesting that Pam just sent to me this evening, which is an invitation to learn about something called Columbia Water Products, way they used meters far more effectively. Anyway,
Right.
you can read it, but
It might save you some money as opposed to paying whatever you were going to pay for the leak detectors. But I have no idea how good it is. It just
Right.
is interesting.
And that's a lecture on February 5th?
It happens to be on February 5th.
Yeah, but I would say it's not gonna be during the evening.
no, I think that's right. I think it's
I would
probably-
go
Usually
for
in
the
middle of
evening.
the day.
So, yeah, we could do that night.
Okay, so let me get back to that.
And it will, of course, be an infomercial, but sometimes they have value.
It sounded more like a, yeah, I suppose there's infomercial in it, but it sounded like an intriguing
Yeah,
thing that I would like to multitask my way through while
Yeah,
I'm doing work at my
I've
desk or
done a
something.
couple of those, and they're interesting, they're useful.
Okay, so we're looking at Thursday night, the 5th?
So February 5th, 6:30.
6:30. Yeah.
Thank you, everybody, for all your work.
Oops.
Stay tuned, we'll have an easy-to-read version of the budget that's coming your way by tomorrow afternoon.